welcome everyone to our spooky Halloween spectacular special for 2022. Let me say that again. Tonight we are going to be playing the Call of Cthulhu using special homebrew rules, which roughly equate to the same as the ones for Fate. If I remember it incorrectly, I am right. Okay, listeners, for those of you who've never played Call of Cthulhu,
which is most of us,
are playing yes, actually all of us. None of us have ever played Call of Cthulhu before, but here it is. It's an H.P. Lovecraft-inspired RPG game made by Chaosism. Basically, our characters will be taking on the role of investigators.
Did you just say Chaosism?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the name of the company that makes Call of Cthulhu. That's not a thing. I think Chaos may have gone back in the timeline and created something kind of... Anyway, our characters will be taking on the role of investigators, and in this game they will be trying to uncover a mystery that has happened in likely 1920 era America. To do this, they will use their skills, and their skills have been assigned to them based on the character that they have, and basically the idea is that you roll a percentile die and a d10 in order to try and succeed at a skill roll. To succeed, you need to get below the skill level that you have on your character, so the higher the skill, the better and more likely you are to succeed. As we go through, they will uncover dark and mysterious things that are perfectly themed for our Halloween episode, and as things come up, we'll figure them out. But our characters need to be careful of one very important number, and that is their sanity, because things are about to get nuts.
I personally am very excited for this 3-part special.
I thought it was going to be 5.
One off, god damn it. I am determined.
You are saying that now.
Okay,
but,
okay, please.
Keith,
I was supposed to have finished our last season like 10 months ago already.
See,
it's terrifying. The terrifyingness is the accuracy, I believe.
I thought we were going to be like speeding through this like 9 years or whatever.
You didn't realize we were going to do that in real time.
Yeah.
No. It's going to take 9
years.
If you
idiots didn't decide you had to have say in what's going on, we'd be through it already.
I tried.
I'll be honest, Keith. Before this, I had no intention of trying to draw this out or take a long time with things. But I will be having to fight.
Balls.
No, legitimately, I never have those kind of thoughts.
We have to finish it in time for it to be published on Halloween.
Well, the first part, anyway.
Yeah, part 1 will definitely be published on Halloween.
Yeah, part 2 is about
all right, guys,
Thanksgiving.
we can do this. I believe in us. When last we left our heroes, we were all in Muckler, West Virginia, trying desperately to right the wrongs of the past. And on a particular dark and stormy evening, right before all hell breaks loose, yet again, you receive a call from Beth. Chaos, would you like to summon your team?
Avengers assemble!
I was expecting...
Wrong genre.
I was expecting Logan to full on be like, no, not really.
Hey guys, did you know there's 700 Marvel movies in the future? I've had so much time while you've been sitting in tents. I have absorbed more pop culture knowledge.
I've become more powerful than you can imagine.
Anyway, there's a thing we have to do, so you should come with me. Gosh, it is sure nice to have everyone here together. And not only did I come back to save you all from whatever was going on last time, but also we have a mission.
Gee whiz!
Wow. I feel like it's not going to be the fun kind of mission that we were hoping for, since, it's literally the day before Halloween.
I don't think that's... You know what? It's fine. It's fine. I don't know how calendars work anymore. I've been in the time void.
Yeah, Chaos.
How was the time void? How long were you there?
I'm not entirely sure. Also, I can grow a mustache now.
That's not a mustache.
It's kind of like a mustache.
Wow, you're so old.
Hey guys, I'm still kind of a wolf, and it might be problematic for me to shift from that. You guys feel like you could do this one without me?
Same energy as I've been turned into a cow. Can I go home?
Suman,
yes.
What if I need to tabletop someone and you are not there?
Ralph is the perfect size. I measured.
I am.
He doesn't even have to bend over.
No.
Okay.
Just trip him over a child.
That is okay with me as long as you spend plenty of time with Ralph before we leave to go over all of our different signals for tabletopping and the like.
Raised eyebrows. Go behind bad guy. Done.
Should I add that as a skill onto my sheet now?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Beth doesn't like wet dog in the ship anyway. She developed an allergy.
Cool. Okay. The playful teasing and ribbing aside, you all quickly approach Beth and board the ship and meet up on the bridge. Immediately, klaxons begin flaring, and it is clear that something has gone horribly wrong. Beth?
It is clear that something has gone horribly wrong.
I've been turned into a GM. Can I go home?
Feel my pain. Feel it. Feel it. It starts in your toes.
This is actually pretty great because it's the first time ever that the GM has not also been the captain of the ship. We're gonna do your event, but first we're gonna go see the Beatles live.
Holla.
Both the Beatles and then NSYNC.
Please make sure to pick up Jake Baum.
BTS.
I'm not including Jake Baum in this.
Oh no, we're getting him. We're getting him. You can't stop us.
We need the most important member of our team. Jake Baum.
See,
please, for the
little
love of
did
God,
you know
save
that
me.
I actually created 3 character sheets.
Amidst all the chaos, Beth clears her throat. There is an anomaly in the timeline that is causing disturbances so severe that if we do not rectify it immediately, the entire timeline will be thrown into complete and utter chaos. It would appear that H.P. Lovecraft has been abducted from the timeline, and science fiction as we know it is fading fast. I suggest you hurry on up before your DM's mind explodes.
So, after that hella meta comment from Beth, you see a newspaper appear, and it is the Providence Journal. In huge writing on the front page reads the headline, Dagon author H.P. Lovecraft missing, no clue left behind. The paper is dated February 18th, 1919. What would you like to do?
Gee, I think I've heard Miss Nelson talk about him, and he's of the devil or something like that.
Hey,
Maybe the
Ralph.
Jews got him because he's so racist.
So, yes, actually, let's not hide from history. H.P. Lovecraft was a known white supremacist. He agreed with, though thought Hitler was a little bit overzealous, and did make a fair few very racist poems. Unfortunately, that doesn't detract from his contribution to the field of science fiction.
You say unfortunately?
Yeah, because it should detract from his success, but it doesn't.
Wait, do we have to rescue H.P. Lovecraft from the Jews? Is that what we're doing?
Can you imagine? So, how would you like to proceed?
I don't know, like, I mean, Beth, you said it's a big deal, right?
If you did not hear me the first time, something terrible has happened.
That's what I thought. So I guess we should go check it out. Let's go to the day before. No, let's go to 2 weeks before and stalk H.P. Lovecraft.
What was the date again? 19...
February 18th, 1919.
No, why not go to 9 years before?
Chaos, will you make a spot hidden roll for me, please?
Okay, what do I roll?
You roll your percentile die, please. And you need to get below 30.
Okay, that is 62.
Ah, a failure. Unfortunate. Okay.
I think I didn't see something that might have driven us along the plot.
Yeah, you notice nothing. So basically the difficulty of the roll, it determines just what you need to hit. So if I was like, this is a tiny thing that you're trying to spot, like infinitesimally tiny, then it's an extreme difficulty. So you have to get 1/5 of your total score or below to succeed. Okay, so would anybody else like to take a stab at rolling a spot hidden?
I will.
78.
I got a 32.
Effie, unfortunately, yours was not successful. Shah, however, managed to succeed at this skill check. And Shah, out of the corner of your eye, as you are looking around, waiting for, Beth to take off or not take off, depending on what you decide. You just sort of see Beth sort of fade as Chaos discusses going back further in the timeline. Fade down, then fade up, almost going a little bit translucent just around you where you are.
So, am I seeing, the time void?
So what you see is basically the console in front of you going slightly transparent and then fading back into solid. It's almost like you could believe that you actually didn't see this. It's so out of the corner of your eye and such a random thing to see that it's almost as if it was a trick of the light. But you're pretty certain that something weird just happened.
Whoa. Hey, do you guys know if Mukla has access to, LSD or anything that they would lace our food with?
I think that if they have LSD, they will not lace your food with it unless you pay them money.
That checks out. Effie, you're the smartest person I know. So then, since I haven't been drugged, supposedly, I just thought you guys should know that, Beth just kind of, went, translucent a little bit, and anyway, I might just be tired. But I just wanted you guys to know in case, I suddenly die, or maybe Beth dies or something. It happened when Chaos was talking about going further back into the past, but, who knows if that's important.
Well, technically, we would be going to the future from where we are right now.
In case you guys were not aware, H.P. Lovecraft is like the father that I didn't have, that I don't really want because he's pretty crappy, but he is unfortunately that figure.
Okay, let's go back to February 16th and start stalking H.P. Lovecraft.
Chaos, as you punch in all the relevant coordinates, I would ask you to please make a pilot roll.
I have a 30, so this is going to be great.
Okay.
Are you serious? You are the captain with 30?
Hey, my previous skill was 1, okay? Deal
so
with it.
This is a step up.
72.
Okay. Beth shudders as you punch in these coordinates and hit the gas.
Oh, that's a little too violent.
Oh, sorry, was that too rough?
And the flight through the time void, particularly this time, is spectacularly difficult. Orange arcs of lightning fly past the windows and viewfinders as you careen through the timeline at a speed that most would call reckless and few would call idiotic, especially Vic. As you are hurtling through the timeline, a giant tentacle whips out of the time void, smacking Beth as she flies by.
Oh!
We've gotten slimed!
Master Chaos, I have not had it this rough since my first flight.
Vic was always gentle with you. Vic was always gentle.
Vic didn't even know they were alive. Anyway, come on. Landing.
Vic was a very generous pilot.
No, let's...
Impact to the surface will be quite rough. I suggest you buckle up, and then seatbelts come out of the walls and floors and kind of smack everyone around because
Except
it's
they're
just...
furry handcuffs.
so turbulent.
Can everyone please make a con roll for me?
Oh crap! I'm Ralph.
What you roll the middle value? No, what do you roll for con?
No, this is relatively easy. It's basically what happens when people aren't used to Beth.
33.
I got a critical failure.
I rolled a 97. That's good, right?
That's a fumble.
Can I change into the Lone Knight real quick and pass?
As a reaction.
No.
Okay, 66. It's a fail.
I throw your bat to you, but I hit you in the face.
21, I pass.
Okay, so Effie and Chaos are fortunate enough to quickly grab hold of these seatbelts and secure themselves in place. Fuzzy handcuffs, my apologies. The rest of you, however, are violently thrown about. Yes, Con.
Not Dex? Okay.
No.
No, okay.
Because something's about to happen to you. Are violently thrown about. Chaos.
Yep, there's tentacles and handcuffs. We get it. Something's about to happen.
But you're gonna like it.
Okay.
No.
Ralph, your small frame is thrown against Van Helsing, and you...
Thanks for catching me.
And both of you slide underneath the console of Beth, where she manages to tangle you up. She manages to tangle you up in the fuzzy handcuffs and arrest your fall. You both take 1 hit point.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay.
What?
Unfortunately,
but
for
he caught me,
Shah-
so he should take the brunt of it.
Unfortunately for Shah, things go a little bit worse, and your head collides with Effie's robotic elbow, and you sprawl to the ground, losing 2 hit points.
Since I lost a hit point, do I check the dying box? How
No,
does this
you
work?
absolutely did not check the dying box.
Do you only have 1 hit point, Van Helsing? What happened?
I don't see any hit points on my sheet.
Nathan, they're towards the
hit
top on
points
the
top-
right, underneath age.
Top right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, I have 12. How many do you have?
He has 15. He's like hella
Yeah.
strong.
Wow. Wow,
Wait.
man. It's that barrel of a chest.
Get off of me, Ralph.
Gee, I'm sorry, Doctor. I just...
If only you weren't tangled in fuzzy handcuffs, you
I know,
could.
exactly.
Wait. Ralph is a child.
But
What's-
Dan is not, so it's fine.
I don't know if that's how that works. You come to a crashing landing, and Beth is in the middle of an intersection. The exterior viewfinder shows that she is currently taking on the form of a 1920s tram. So actually, you may have knocked her disguise circuits into functioning again, but she is definitely
Yay.
not going anywhere as of right now.
Oh, that feels good. I feel like me again. Whatever you guys did in there worked.
It was the tentacles.
A time ship has needs, okay?
Multiple doors open,
I,
and
as Effie, would really, really know that.
multiple doors open, and before you appear numerous articles of 1920s themed clothing in the various sizes of your characters.
Fashion show!
This pantsuit really works for me.
Everything works for you, Shar. Have you really ever tried on something and thought it did not work for you?
There was this one time in Milan, but I won't get there right now. Go
Hey,
there.
look, it's a black duster. It's like a trench coat, but less leather.
Chaos, honestly, flattering.
Also, look, it's a hat, my lady.
We should burn that.
I look at the rack of clothes, and it's the exact same clothes that I'm currently wearing.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm looking at.
You see a small light grey 3-piece suit
Oh, basically
with
what I'm wearing.
a tiny pocket watch hanging out of the vest pocket.
There's also an altar boy's robe, so you can choose.
Please don't choose the altar boy's robe, because I will make that a thing.
As long as I get the Pape Boys cap with it.
All right, please step off of Beth.
I want to be dressed by Shar.
Effie, for you, I have this evening gown that is a drop waist evening gown, and it has a slit all the way up the leg, but no one can really tell when you're walking.
Heck
Damn.
yeah.
This seems very advantageous for fighting.
Okay, as you exit Beth, you exit into the heart of Providence, Rhode Island. The town is bustling, there are skyscrapers all around you, and multiple people are in the current stages of freaking out because there is a random tram that has just stopped in the middle of a very busy intersection. What would you like
Shar
to do?
puts out some construction cones and signs that direct people to a detour.
Okay. You know what? I'm not going to make you roll for that. That works. People in Providence, Rhode Island, apparently totally willing to accept signs put up by random strangers that look like they know what they're doing. So people will begin moving
I'm
around
wearing a
the
pantsuit,
cart.
of course.
Yeah, totally. You are 100% convincing. People begin walking around the tram, and a traffic officer comes over and starts to direct people around the tram, and everything seems to be fine. The police officer turns to a young paper boy and says, "Hey, kid, listen, go get the warden, tell him to take care of this right now. Tell him what's going on. We got to get this tram moved out of the way, or we're never going to be able to move traffic. Go on." The little boy responds, "Yeah, all right, Gov. and takes off in the direction away from you.
I run after him and I pay him
He's
off
gone.
to not.
He's
No,
gone.
no!
He's totally gone. He ducked into an alley. It's like a freaking magic skill. He's gone.
What if he looks inside Beth and sees a time ship?
Yeah.
Beth can lock her doors.
I text Beth, someone's gonna touch you, but it's gonna be okay.
Oh my gosh.
Show me on the tram where the boys touched you.
Oh my gosh.
Shar texts Beth. Beth texts Shar. Everything's cool and everything's fine.
Okay, perfect. Beth locks. You hear a sharp come from Beth, and you know that she is now very secure. Okay, on the floor in front of you, you notice the pile of papers that the boy has abandoned in his quick hunt for the traffic warden.
Shar picks them up and
I wonder how much I
can
could make if I pass these out.
Yeah, Shar hands them to Ralph and is like, hey, here's your job for the day. Go make some money.
Would you like to improve your credit rating?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Ralph's credit rating goes up by 10 points. Okay, so you see in the top corner that the date is actually February 17th, 1919. You have successfully landed only a day late.
Well, my vote is that we go find where H.P. Lovecraft lives and burn his house down.
I think that we could destroy our friend, the ship,
No.
way.
We won't get rid of him, just his house.
Oh, do you guys remember that time we did like the Ghost of Christmas Past, Present, and Future to stop someone from being a jerk?
Gee, I feel like I was a different person back then.
Guys, is that Jake Baum down the street?
Let me roll to see if I can see Jake Baum. That's a 21.
What are you trying to roll?
To see Jake Baum.
No, I'm about to say, what's a skill?
Like look.
Hidden.
Spot
Vision.
hidden.
Spot. Spot.
That
hidden.
is successful.
Oh my god!
There is a man in front of you walking away in a suit that bears a marked resemblance to Jake Baum. Would you like to approach him?
Yes, I run up to him. Jake Baum, it's your friend, Professor Van Helsing.
A man does turn to face you. He is a very well-dressed man in a fedora and bow tie. He has a very thick handlebar mustache. He turns to you and he says, "Excuse me, sir. I do not believe I am the man you think I am. My name is Detective McFarland."
I immediately look very sad and rejected and embarrassed that I thought he was somebody else, and I just quickly say, "Oh, fine, thank you. I thought you were someone else." And then I walk away.
Come on, Grandpa, let's
Quite
get you back home.
all right. He marches off to the northwest, looking like a man with great purpose.
Didn't he say
I
that
follow.
he was part
Yeah,
of
I was gonna
the
say follow him.
Maybe we
Okay.
should ask him about H.P. Lovecraft.
You follow
That's what
him.
I was about to say, is we should ask where he lives.
Excuse me, sir, do you know where I can find Harry Potter Lovecraft?
It was Howard.
Sonny, will you be referring to H.P. Lovecraft?
Yeah, Harry Potter Lovecraft.
I do not believe his name is Harry, but I am on the way to his home now on Angel Street.
Really? How come?
Well, I mean, it is official police business, but he has not been seen for quite some time.
We are special investigators with Scotland Yard, and we are here to help.
Will you please roll a persuade, Logan? Or chaos?
Can I roll fast talk?
Yes, okay,
Cool, because I have that skill.
good.
7.
What? Well, I had not
I
realized
passed.
that this had gone up all the way up to the Scotland Yard, but please, yes, come with me then. Let's go. And he begins marching quicker towards Angel Street. As you approach the home...
Do I see Jake Baum on my way to Angel Street?
No. As you approach the home
Keith
of
does not want
598
Jake Baum
Angel
to
Street,
appear in this episode.
you see a towering cube-shaped home with bay windows, red bay windows on a grey stucco house. And the white door to the left-hand side of what is clearly a duplex unit. Detective McFarland quickly approaches the house, climbs the 6 stairs to the door, and knocks with haste.
Only 6 stairs?
Yeah.
No, it's better for taxes that way.
It has 6 stairs. Fight
I'm
me.
impressed. You did good, Keith.
Thank you.
You're taxed
If
based
we-
on the number of stairs. It's a much better advantage. They're very tall stairs.
If we go up and down these stairs 3 times, will it summon the devil?
Ooh.
Watch
Ma'am,
HP Lovecraft will actually come out of the house, and when you do that,
Yeah!
I do not believe so, but hopefully we will at least summon Mrs. Susie Lovecraft, HP's mother. And as he says this, the door slowly creaks open and a face can be seen sort of through the crack in the side window. It's only opened about a half a foot. And in a very wispy voice, a stern-looking woman says, "Yes? Who is this? What do you want?"
Yes, we are investigators from Scotland Yard, and we are looking for P.P. Lovecraft.
Are you making fun of my son, sir?
No.
He's...
The innocent way!
He goes by HP. HP, not PP. And everything's fine.
Ah, Hewlett Packard.
I was thinking of his brother, PowerPoint's Lovecraft.
The look on Susie's face is getting more and more stern as she frantically looks around, looking for somebody who maybe she might recognize or something. She's obviously very nervous.
Shar steps forward and she does a little toss of her hair over her shoulder and like straightens her suit coat and goes, "Hi, ma'am, you have to excuse my colleagues here. They like to be a little bit eccentric on first meetings and all of the other meetings after that, but I assure you, I am here to conduct business, and we really care about making sure that your son doesn't die. But perhaps we could also investigate your parenting methods so that we can see where his, racism, sexism comes from."
Mrs. Lovecraft looks indignant and she says, "I haven't been this mistreated ever since my husband was admitted to Butler, and I cannot believe you would even knock on my door for accusations such as these." And she slams the door in your face.
She's offended by being racist because I thought she'd be okay with it.
She's offended that you called her son a racist. Detective McFarland looks to you and says, if you don't mind, I'll proceed from this point on. And he knocks again and says,
Yeah, we'll look around the back.
ma'am, it is I, Detective McFarland. We have a working relationship. Please open the door." And Susie begrudgingly again opens the door and says, "I've told you once. I've told you twice, Detective. Everything is fine. HP is fine. He is just on one of his writing retreats or whatever. He'll show up when he's ready." She is, at this point, clearly agitated. Okay, what skill would you like to roll to try and persuade her that you are not a threat and not here to cause problems?
I mean, both Charm and Persuade are high scores for me.
Okay.
So, I got a 26.
All right. She visibly calms down. You can tell that she is a lot more comfortable, even after the racist comment, dealing with you than with Detective McFarland or with Dr. Van Helsing. And she looks over to Effie as well, and she says, fine, just come in. We can talk about it, whatever. Would you like some tea?" And she opens the door for you to enter.
and that was her mistake.
I would love some tea so much. Do you want my colleagues to stay out here?
Well, I mean, the little one's kind of cute. He could probably come.
Gee, I was supposed to go for tea with Janice. Maybe I can have tea right now.
Yes.
Oh, Janice, I wonder
great.
what Janice is doing.
Yeah.
I have some nice
Tea.
chamomile for a young one like you. And she heads to the kitchen, and you hear the rustling and bustling of tea being made.
Char brings Ralph and Effie in, and then she leans over to Chaos and Dr. Van Helsing and says, "You scout for clues."
So, Detective McSpawnwriter, where would these writing retreats be?
Well, I mean, yes, he does go off at times, but this has been far too long, and his friends are saying he's definitely missing, so I don't think that's super relevant. As far as I know, he usually just locks himself away at the journal or at the UAPC, but he is not in either of those places.
As we enter the house, Char pulls Ralph and Effie in close and goes, "Don't eat anything she offers. Don't drink anything
Why?
she offers, because she could be a murderer."
Oh, gee. I didn't think of that.
Ralph-
That would be really bad.
I have snacks in my pocket for you later.
But the chamomile.
Just pretend. It's probably not that good anyway.
I'll try.
You guys have all been ushered into the family room and sat down. It's sort of an open front area. There's a piano against one wall, and you can see that there are bookshelves basically wall to wall on the opposite wall from where you are sitting, which is on a couch sort of to the right of the bay windows.
Can you tell us when your son left on this retreat?
I mean, the last I saw of him was 2, 3, 4, 7 days ago. He was 4 days, probably.
Yeah, and how long do these retreats usually last?
Oh, he could be gone for weeks. If he's writing one of his books, he's gone for quite some time.
Oh, so then if he's gone for weeks...
I remember when he wrote Dagon. It was quite a while. Yes, people are making a deal out of nothing. He's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. But what if I have pretty good evidence that he's not actually fine?
What kind of evidence do you have? And she begins looking around the room quite nervously. Ralph, she actually grabs a box from underneath the piano, and it's full of like little toy soldiers and things like that.
Gee.
And she looks at you fondly and smiles and says, "You can play with any of HP's old toys. He made some of these himself, you know."
Wow. Gee whiz.
Do you play with them?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Are they coated in poison?
No.
They are lead.
They are lead, I was gonna say.
You see some toy soldiers in there. You see some horses. And would you please just another roll of spot hidden, please?
Oh, feel like I have spot hidden. Oh, an 8!
Nice.
I got an 8!
Okay. So you've reached down deep into this box. You're super excited because, you know, you're already seeing the pieces you would need to reenact a Lone Ranger scene already. And you feel something kind of poke you. And it's a little bit sharp. And you pull it
There's
out.
a knife!
And
Tentacles.
It is essentially, it's a wooden toy, which is really different to what everything else is. And when you pull it out, you see essentially what looks like a faceless bat man creature in your hand.
Christian Bale?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm Batman. Oh, gee.
George Clooney?
It's quite crude. It's obviously been made by a child, but it has big bat-like wings and a skeletal figure, and it looks oddly haunting. You can't quite put your finger on it, but something in the back of your mind is afraid of this thing. Almost like a sense you're not even aware of fears what you're holding.
Throw it out the window at Van Helsing.
What would you like to do?
Let's see here. I am fascinated by this thing. Yeah, I will squeal. I will also try and hide it.
Okay. I wish you had sleight of hand, but you know what? Roll stealth.
Ooh. I still got it. I rolled a 75,
nice.
But it's still under my stealth.
It is.
Nice.
Okay, and let me roll a spot hidden for Mrs. Lovecraft. Okay. So she spots what you're doing, and she looks frantic, but isn't 100% sure she saw what she thought she saw. And she says, "Yes, well, just play. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Just play. You're okay, right?" And she tries to hand you a cookie.
What kind of cookie?
It's oatmeal raisin.
Oh, what?
This woman is evil.
I mean, I'm okay with that, but
Shah, while her back is turned, would you like to roll a spot hidden?
Yeah, I would.
Can I also roll a spot hidden?
Absolutely.
I rolled an 18, baby.
I rolled 26, which I believe is better than my thing, which is 40.
So we both spotted at the same time. Yes.
So you're looking at the bookcases, and you're kind of like snooping a little bit. And you notice that a couple of the book jackets don't really fit the books that they're on. Like they're too tall, or they're too wide, or, you know, too small for the book itself. And the book behind a specific book jacket looks incredibly old.
I take it and I replace one of my shoulder pads with it.
Okay, will you please roll a sleight of hand?
we're just stealing the old lady's stuff.
I rolled a 27, so I am okay.
So I will say this is going to be a hard success required for this one. So you're 7 off, so you can spend some luck.
Yeah, I will. I have 85 luck.
Wow, that's luck.
All right, you succeed. The book is with you.
Shar takes a picture of like the book jacket and then puts the book jacket back where the book was, but puts the book as her shoulder pad.
Dang.
Okay. Fortunately, the book in question is supple leather on the outside. It's sort of a very light tan leather that is worn and clearly well used. And so it does actually conform to your shoulder pretty close to what a shoulder pad would look like. So good job.
Shar knows fashion.
Sure. Okay, so Susie Lovecraft, continues to dodge your questions. She's primarily focused on getting you out of her house.
One last question before we leave. Can you tell us where your son went on one of these writing retreats?
Yes, I mean, of course. He often goes to the UAPA. It's a journal that frequently publishes his wonderful work, and they have an office for him there, and his friend, Mr. Hess, usually keeps him fed and safe, and he's fine. It's probably where he is now. It's totally fine.
That seems kind of an odd place to have a retreat, if I'm being honest. Like, I usually picture...
Oh, he's just trying to get away from his overbearing mother. He's fine.
Oh.
Yes, she is historically overbearing. She's trying to make you laugh it off.
Cool. Well, you've been incredibly unhelpful. But, this tea is absolutely wonderful. So while you haven't been able to answer our questions the way that I would have wanted, I really have appreciated your hospitality.
That cookie's so yummy. It's just so good. Thank you so much for that cookie. Gee whiz.
We're going to leave.
Yeah, she begins ushering you to the door. Outside at the same time, Chaos, will you please also make a spot hidden? And same with you, please, Dr. Van Helsing.
Yeah, I definitely missed.
I got a 5.
Okay. Wow. So Van Helsing, as you guys are kind of like snooping around, trying to look in windows and check out the neighborhood, Detective McFarland has gone to a neighbor nearby to try and see if he can get any more information. And you notice a silhouette basically in the corner. And as you notice it, you notice another one and another. There are 3 men standing in the shadows across the street, mostly hidden. As they notice you notice them, the man in the front nods his head to you in what can only be described as sinister and a little bit awkward, and turns away and walks down the alley.
These are awkward men. Okay.
At this time, a woman accompanies Detective McFarland towards you, and she looks kind of bubbly. She's that kind of neighbor, the one, has her head over the fence half the time, neck craned as she looks through the window, sticky beaking around. Detective McFarland introduces her and he says, "Yes, this is Clara Hess. She's a neighbor of the Lovecrafts and insisted that she speak to us." And Clara sort of pipes up and says, "Hi, are you really from Scotland Yard?"
No, that was a lie that we told in order to get... No, I'm just kidding. Oh, yes, we are really, really from Scotland Yard, yes.
And you're looking into the Lovecrafts?
Yes, we believe that the boy, H.P. Lovecraft, has gone missing.
Well, I mean, they are a strange bunch. You hear things, as a neighbor, you hear things all the time.
Are we talking about things that my Uncle Joe told me to ignore coming from my mom's room, or like something scary?
I mean, did your Uncle Joe scream in the middle of the night over and over again about demons from hell?
No.
I don't think you want an honest answer to that question.
Fair enough.
Well, please elaborate. What else have you heard?
I mean, his mother, she tells me it's just them reading Shakespeare. That's a normal thing that you do. And they just get really into it. But in the middle of the night, I'll hear him just screaming and screaming. And he's the only man there. So it has to be him, right?
Yes, well, believe me when I say that Scotland Yard is not above going into hell to bring this child back.
Oh, I doubt very much it's hell. I mean, ever since their father was, taken, they've had a spot of bad luck is all, and I think the boy is a little bit disturbed from it all.
Take him by what exactly?
Well, I mean, they say it was, an ailment of the mind, HP swears he was just overworked, but you don't really get admitted to Butler Hospital when you're overworked, if you know what I mean.
It's not a hospital for butlers.
Well, if he was taken, it certainly was not with his wife's personality.
Oh, you're quite witty, aren't you? No, I'm sorry. I must have misspoken. You're not from around here. Of course you're from Scotland Yard. Butler Hospital is a hospital for the disturbed.
Is he still there?
Well, I mean, he was until HP was about 5 or 6, but he unfortunately passed. Syphilis in the mind, apparently.
Uncle Joe also talked a lot about that.
Ever since then, their fortune dwindled. They had to move here. I mean, the family, unfortunately, has had so many negative turns, and the poor boy was sick his whole childhood.
I see. Has anything changed recently?
Well, I mean, he's been writing a bunch, and he seems to really be liking that. I mean, other people certainly like it. His work's a little bit rough for me, if you don't mind me saying. A little dark, but I guess it's to be expected.
And you're saying you don't like it, right?
Yeah, when he's reading Shakespeare with Mom, like, there's gonna be effects.
Oh, God. Please don't make that a euphemism.
I feel disturbed. This is the most disturbing Halloween episode ever.
They are very close, but I don't know if they're quite that close, young man.
Interesting. Have you ever seen anything weird? Like a Batman?
I took a picture of it and sent it to everyone, saying, does this look weird? Dr. Van Helsing, is this Dracula?
Batman? No, I mean, I've seen some men lurking around, but...
Is men lurking around not weird?
Yes, I have seen these men, I believe. 3 shadowy figures who like to raise their eyebrows like this.
Yes, they're very suggestive and weird.
When's the last time you saw these men, and where did they go?
They seem to be in long coats. I don't know.
Yes, I see.
She's clearly getting a little bit nervous talking about this. She starts to look around, obviously searching for these men, and she says, well, I mean, if that's all, detective, and she looks at the detective who nods at her, I best be going. I really shouldn't be sticking my nose in this. It's other people's business, really. I'm just going to go. And she sort of scurries off towards her house. So, Detective McFarland, I am going to go back to the precinct and look into this further. What would you all like to do now? So as you are waiting and Detective McFarland has left, Effie and Shah and Ralph come out of the house and join back up with you. And they fill you in on everything that's happened.
GKS, do you want a cookie? I was given a cookie inside, but Shar told me not to eat it. Do you want a cookie?
Yeah, for sure.
No! Shar smacks it out of his hand onto the ground and stomps on it.
Oh, oatmeal raisin. Are you trying to poison me?
No, but that lady could have been.
I just thought it was... she just didn't like the lady's cooking.
That's okay, Ralph. You can keep thinking that. When you're older, you'll understand poisoning.
Okay, so what would you like to do, guys?
Anyway, we were talking to the neighbor. It was not her all along. She did tell us about shadow men who may or may not be coming from the mental hospital where Harry Potter's father was committed.
Oh, shit. Wow. Yeah, Mrs. Lovecraft did say that, it was likely that her son went to the UAPA to hang out with someone named Hess. So that's also a thing.
Van Helsing, have you ever seen a man bat like this? It's kind of scary. Do you want to hold on to it? I don't want to hold it anymore. Here. And he just gives it to you.
Van Helsing, will you please roll an education roll?
Oh, I can do that. I rolled a 44, but my education is
82. You're doing fine. Okay, so you succeed, and in your studies, especially since boarding Beth, you have done a lot of reading about the supernatural. You started with obviously Dracula, but as you read more and more, you actually did pick up some Lovecraftian novels, and you recognize this almost immediately as a night gaunt. A completely silent, demonic creature known for primarily abduction.
Wrap it in a
In
crucifix.
my studies, I of course started with Dracula. But from there, I've branched out, and I've actually read quite a few of these Lovecraft novels.
Sounds
Those
like a
are different
genre.
than the ones that you keep hiding from me, right? The ones you take to the bathroom.
Well,
no,
damn.
No relation, no. No, this is a creature of the night. It is known for abductions. It's called a night gaunt. Some might say that it was ripped off of Dracula. But there are quite a few differences.
So, players, what would you like to do now?
Oh, I want to go to a mental hospital.
Okay.
Oh, Sarah, if you want to come see Mr. Edward Hess with me, that's cool. But if you want to go to the mental hospital, we can all go there.
I'll go with you to see Hess.
Cool. Hey, Effie, do you want to go see this Hess guy and see if maybe for some reason H.P. Lovecraft is hauled up in the UAPA office?
Yes, we should double check that. His mother doesn't seem entirely trustworthy.
Yeah, definitely not. Cool. Well, we'll go there and we'll avoid the creepy place that you guys are going to. So have fun storming the castle, boys.
Yeah, we're going to go to the mental hospital and leave Van Helsing there.
Just make sure they bill Vic and not us.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Luckily, this is before the Nixon administration, so there are still free mental hospitals everywhere.
Nice. I mean, not nice. They're probably abusive, but, you know.
In this time, yes.
Okay. So let's go with Shar and Effie to the UAPA. So obviously, this would normally be difficult to find, but because you have Effie, she's able to do a quick, Google search, I guess.
I have my phone,
guys
thank you.
Have no trouble finding the UAPA, and sort of about half an hour to 45 minutes later, you guys arrive at the UAPA offices as you've been walking the whole way.
Before we go in, as we've been walking, Shar just keeps singing, "Every day when I'm walking down the street," and then that's it.
Dun, 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 dun. Hey!
Yep. And then they get to the office. Ba-da-ba-ba.
Okay. As you walk in, there's a receptionist sitting at the front desk. She's dressed smartly in a floor-length dress that she clearly wears regularly. It's a little bit tattered and worn, but she's trying to look as professional as she can. Yes, may I help you?
Hi, we're here to see Edward Hess. Yeah.
Do you have an appointment?
No, but I can tell you right now that he's going to want to talk to us. We have a really interesting story that he specifically has to hear.
Oh, are you from the Writers Guild? He has been waiting for you.
Yes, we are.
Just go on through. Second door on the right.
Wow.
Cool, thank you. Also, if you just hem your dress like 2 inches, it's going to hit a really nice place on your legs, and it's going to make it look infinitely better, I promise you.
She blushes and smiles at you and says, "Well, thank you." And as you walk away, you notice her sort of crouching down behind her desk and obviously playing with the hem of her dress.
Nice. Another fashion victim saved.
So as you approach this door, you can hear 2 distinct voices. One of them is a gruff, older man, and the other is a woman who sounds very breathy. You don't hear everything, but you definitely hear the words Howard, Lovecraft, 4 days, and the woman is obviously agitated at this point. Yeah, what would you like to do?
Hey, Effie, can you record this and then amplify the voices so that we can hear exactly what they're saying?
I could try. Is that something I can do, sir?
Let's have a look. Okay, Effie, why don't you roll me resources, please?
Is that a roll?
It's a special skill that Effie has.
Oh, cool.
I got 31.
Excellent. You succeeded by 4 points, and thankfully this was already quite loud, so you didn't really need to do too much. But can you explain to me exactly how you record, amplify, and play back in real time?
I use my cybernetics to capture sound, and then play it back out louder out of my ear.
Okay, so Shah, when you sort of put your head close to Effie's, it's almost like you're sharing a headphone, and you can now hear perfectly what's going on in the room, and now I have to role play with myself, so thanks for that, guys.
You're welcome!
The greatest joys of podcasting.
Mother just gave me the runaround and told me that everything was fine, like he was just going to be here. He's not here. Where is he? Winifred, I have told you enough times now. He is not here. He hasn't been here in 4 days. I have no idea where he is. The last thing I got from him was this insane story that I'm supposed to publish about some sailor Dagon or something going on. I don't know. Well, what do you mean? What was it about? It was about this sailor. They discovered this sea monster, and it was, honestly, it was a little bit terrifying. Well, that's his job. He is supposed to scare us. Yes, but this was something else. It was a warning, Winifred. There was a clear warning in this thing. Come on, show me the work then. Fine. And you hear some rustling, and he pulls out a sheaf of papers, or at least that's what it sounds like to you, and proceeds to read, I guess. His voice changes, and you hear him say these words. And let's not forget, like all scary creatures, someday they may rise to take over the world and wipe us from the face of the earth. What am I supposed to do with that, Winifred? How much the public... You know how many people will be upset with that? Children read our magazine. Edward, this doesn't help us find him. Well, I mean, he kept saying he was being followed and mumbling under his breath. Oh, the mumblings. I know exactly what you're about. I cannot believe that. They continue like this for some time. Would you like to interrupt or walk away? What's your next thing?
Hey, Effie.
Yeah.
Do you think that we should look for clues in the building? Like maybe, there was an office that he worked in? Or do you think we should go in and ask questions?
Well, it kind of sounds like maybe we should get this creepy script.
Good idea. Do you want to bang down the door or knock politely?
Do you think they have it in there with them? Or maybe they left it somewhere else because they're afraid of it. Maybe we should check the freezer. I've heard that you should put scary things in there.
Oh, I've heard that too. That's why I put my expired skincare in there.
Oh, I thought you were just saving it to give it to Chaos.
No. He already uses enough expired products as it is. I didn't want to add. It sounded like they had papers. We could go and see if they have it. It sounds like they don't really even want it, so I bet they'd just give it to us if they have it.
I could try and spy on them and see if they have it.
Do it.
I pop my eyeball out of my head, roll it across the ground, and it pops out little spider legs, and it goes... So it can go
Every time you do this, it gets a little bit easier to watch.
Roll resources.
26.
Gosh, dang it. Okay, that succeeds. It is probably the most terrifying iteration of your power we've ever seen. This eyeball is free spinning on an axis and looks directly at you, Shah, and somehow winks before it darts under the doorway to investigate.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
And
I blow it a kiss.
its little spider leg catches it from the air.
Yes.
And it scatters under the door.
And happy Valentine's Day.
On the inside of this room, you can see that the man who you assume is Edward Hess is sitting at his desk. There are a strew of papers across his desk. And as the small eye sort of crawls up the wall to get a better vantage point, it's clear that there is a lot of sort of loose leaf papers. And on these papers, you can see the writing that he's referring to, of course, but you can also see a lot of really interesting and sort of dark-looking symbols. Can you make a sanity roll, please?
Me?
Yes, you. It's your eye.
I got 58.
Okay,
but
so
my sanity
is 50.
Is 50.
Okay. Can you roll 1d6, please?
2.
Okay, so you take 2 sanity loss.
Where do I mark that?
So you now have 48 sanity.
Oh.
Nothing else happens. The script definitely looks otherworldly. In fact, it calls to memory things that you've seen in memories that aren't your own. Anyway,
Am I supposed to do something with
no,
it?
that's fine. You don't have to do anything with that. But there are words like Necromicon, Old One, that you see kind of scrawled in the margins. And you do see the words Butler Hospital written down in a corner.
Okay, outside in the hall, one-eyed me says to Shar, Shar, they do have some papers. They look really weird. They mention lots of words I've never heard before, and also about that hospital. Should we go and take the papers?
Yeah, I'm gonna pose as Mr. Lovecraft's lawyer, and I'm going to confiscate all of his documents.
Okay, I'll be your assistant. Let me just call my eye back.
Cool. That's a good thing to do.
As the eye begins to retreat, you see Winifred, and she's still responding and reacting to what Edward is talking about. And Edward just recently said, I mean, these dreams he has are obviously inspiration. He's brilliant, but I don't know what to do with this. And Winifred says, it's a gift. He can see things that the rest of us just can't see. His dreams are like windows.
Wow. Is he a cult leader?
Who, Lovecraft?
Yeah.
No, she's just enamored with him. When we write together, it's like he's seeing into my dreams. I don't even fully describe them, but he somehow manages to pull my deepest nightmares onto the page.
Wow, what
It's
red
like
flags.
reading Shakespeare.
This is what you're hearing as the eye goes back under the door and scuttles up your leg and pops itself back into your eye socket.
Yeah, to be clear, the eye can't hear anything. It doesn't have ears. It's
No,
just
this
an
is
eye.
still you hearing stuff.
I know. I was just clarifying for, you
Yeah.
know, the people who are trying to imagine things in their head.
Sure.
Cool. As soon as
Hello.
the eye...
Listeners.
I was kind of picturing like the ears were attached to the eye, so when the eye came out of your eye socket, your ears got sucked into your head, and then they came out of your eye following, and then there were just like ears trailing behind.
No.
Wow.
That's why I had to clarify. This is exactly why I had to clarify.
It's like he's taking my terrible nightmares out of my mind and putting them into words. As soon as the eye is back in Effie's socket, Shar opens up the door to the office and steps inside, hands on her hips, chin raised, and she says, "Excuse me, but I am here representing Mr. H.P. Lovecraft. We are confiscating all documents that he's been related to for the time being. You'll get them back later, I'm sure, but we have to take them into our possession now."
Can you roll persuade for me, please?
I can. Ooh, a 44, and I have an 80.
Okay. Would you like to spend the 4 points that's going to make it so that this man does not refuse you at all, or would you like to make this a bit of a struggle?
I will spend the 4 points.
Okay. Edward gets a bit blustery and, excuse me, you represent Howard? Where is he? Is he all right?
I am not sure. I am just acting on instructions. If you have any information as to where he might be, then you should definitely give that to us.
I mean, we haven't seen him. This is the problem. We don't know what's going on with him at all. But fine, if you're his lawyer, fine. Take the documents. He sort of sweeps his arms across the table, stacks all the papers together, and thrusts them out towards you. Clearly, really eager to get rid of these papers.
Cool. Shar, motions for Effie to take them and kind of says out of the corner of her mouth, like, use your cybernetic arm.
Hear over the comms, wow, I can't believe that worked. Remember, we're looking for P.P. Lovecraft. You said H.P. You said H.P. Lovecraft.
My favorite part of Nathan making bad jokes is when Nathan loses it and just starts laughing.
So, Effie, as you reach out to grab these with your cybernetic hand, it's interesting. You feel a really similar sort of blue crackling energy that you felt when that cyborg vanished back in the woods of Mukla.
A distortion in time.
But nothing else happens, and you proceed to exit the offices. What would you like to do now?
Set the building on fire.
The building goes up in flames. It's paper. they deal in paper.
I'm just kidding. I won't cause that
The
much of a
receptionist
disturbance.
trips over her hem and dies a horrible death.
Hey, Effie, can you scan these and send them to Beth for analysis on the weird shapes that you described?
Yeah, do you think she'll get scared about it, though? Maybe we should warn her.
Yeah, I'll send her a text and warn her before the fax goes.
Okay. Ready or not, here they come.
Shar texts Beth and says, "Hey, creepy pics coming your way, but no need to be afraid." Does Beth have any analysis? Or should we wait for a response?
Yeah, so Beth is going to basically come back to you with a bit of a shaky voice, like something happened, but she's not really willing to tell you what.
Well, hello, this is Beth here with some analysis for you. I can tell you that in these shapes there are a lot of mentions of a cellar, a door, an old one, and an eye. And if I know anything about creepy things, these are creepy things. You have to look at the last line on the last page. I cannot tell it to you.
You're too traumatized by getting touched by the people.
Excuse me, but Beth, the reason why we sent you scans of the pictures was so that we didn't have to look at it and lose any sanity.
Beth attempts to say the line, and she gets as far as home and then cuts out. So, would you like to look at the last line of the last page?
Hey, Effie, rock, paper, scissors, whoever loses has to look.
Okay.
Okay. On shoot, instead of saying shoot, we're gonna say the thing that we're gonna do.
You know, Shar, as much as I like rock, paper, scissors, I did already look at them once, and I do have a partially cybernetic brain, so it's probably safer if I just look at the documents.
Oh man, Effie, you're the kindest person I know.
Thank you. This is also just logic.
Okay, as you turn to the last page, Effie, you scan down and there's some stuff that you literally just can't read. It looks like it's in code or something. Letters are out of place, upside down, but the last line is clear as day. And it reads, "Home is home no more."
Huh, creepy. Very creepy. Shar pulls the book out from underneath her jacket and starts flicking through it to see if there are any ways to crack a code.
Roll sanity, please.
Yeah,
I
figured.
A 74. My sanity is 75.
Okay, so you succeed just barely, and you can feel that there is something so very wrong about this book that touching it has affected you this way. And at the moment, you're on the title page, and in letters that are clearly in a deep, dark red script, it reads, "The Necronomicon."
Yo, Effie, I think that we should definitely let Van Helsing handle this, not us.
Okay.
Shar goes on comms and says, "Hey guys, we have the Necronomicon, which, contrary to how it sounds, is not a version of Comic-Con. We're gonna bring it to you. We'll meet you guys probably like on the outside of the mental hospital, yeah?"
As you say this, Shah, there is a sound like beating wings. And you look up just in time to see a real life-size version of Nightgaunt descending upon you.
The Nightgaunt is coming, and so are you.
Never gets old, huh?
Never gets old.
Apparently.
The thing that never gets old to me is Nathan's wheezing as he thinks he's so funny.
I actually didn't think that was that funny, but it got a good reaction.
You have time to scream.
Okay, cool. Shar on comms goes, "The Nightgaunt is here!" And holds up her taser end of the phone, hopefully.
Okay, I need you to roll Brawl, please.
94.
That is so close to a fumble. You are very fortunate that you did not fumble. But essentially, it is attacking you, and you have failed. So the thing about the Nightgaunt is that it doesn't actually inflict damage. The Nightgaunt is a demonic, silent creature whose sole purpose is as a fetch dog, I guess. And as it comes into contact with you, Shah, you feel a very, very strange, almost like liquid pouring over your entire body at once. And Effie, in one moment, Shah is there, and in the next, she is gone. and so is the Night Gaunt.
I always knew that Shar would be the first one to go in a horror movie.
You are left alone as the moon rises over this small Providence neighborhood, looking at the spot where Shar was. And as you look down, you see her phone with the screen cracked right across the diagonal.
How dare you crack the screen?
Shar! On the comms. Shar? Shar, can you hear me? Everyone, Shar has been taken by something.
And Shar, you cannot hear anything on the comms.
Taken? Like, in which way?
Bodily?
I hear that Shaw is quite taken with you.
Gee whiz! Where did Shar go?
Something just swooped out of the sky and plucked her away.
Did it take her back into the sky? We have to find Shar.
Well, I would recommend going back to Beth, but I'm pretty sure we can't do that. Because Beth is a streetcar named
Toad.
Desire. Yeah.
There's no chance of me using my rocket boot to chase her down, is there?
No, she vanished. She actually literally was teleported out of the existence. But about 3 minutes have gone by, Effie, when you suddenly feel Shar's phone vibrate in your hands and you get a notification. And the notification says Fitbit located.
Shar would not have a Fitbit.
Okay, what would you like the device to be?
I'm going to say that it is a watch that Shar picked up on Beth. So it is brandless. And she just was like, cool, this has Bluetooth, and connected it to her phone. And then she realized that it actually had 4G LTE. And so...
Only 4? Come on. It's from the future.
Yeah, I mean,
let's do
look,
6G.
This is 6G.
12G.
12G. Yeah, 12G LTE. And she's been using it ever since. And it can sync with her phone, and only had some minor oddities. Like occasionally she would hear Beth like mumble something, but she could never talk to Beth.
Okay. So a notification pops up on Shar's phone that says Gigi found nearby. And there is an address listed on there, and it says...
An address?
Yeah, like it's notifying you of where the watch is. And it corresponds to Butler Hospital.
Does Shar have a pet named Gigi? Apparently there's something located named Gigi.
Chaos, you would actually know that this...
Wait, do you have Shaw's phone? Don't open the next message. Don't open it. And then you get another notification from Van Helsing.
Van Helsing, this isn't the time to be texting Shar. I'm sure that she usually would...
Wait, do you open it?
No?
No, I want you to open it.
Of course. Let's immediately go off the rails. Go ahead. Open the text message.
I open it by accident as I'm trying to find out what Gigi is.
I was asking Shar for recommendations on what to get you for your birthday.
This is adorable.
Gigi is, that's familiar to me. That's been on our network. That's a watch that Beth made for Shar because Beth never wanted to lose Shar and was afraid she'd get lost, like that one time when we were in France.
I'm trying to think of what I could tell Van Helsing that I want for my birthday, but I can't think of anything. You know, Van Helsing, I've always wanted a hermit crab for my birthday. My father never let me have any pets.
A hermit crab? That's okay. Okay, I can go for that.
It seems like Gigi, the watch that's not an animal, is at the hospital, so I'll join you all there.
It's very convenient. We were already on our way there. It's like someone wanted to speed things along.
All right. Effie, you make haste to Butler Hospital, and you are on your way there when you hear that the others have arrived. So, gentlemen, you arrive at Butler Hospital, Providence, Rhode Island. The hospital itself is a massive 3-winged hospital structure, very box-like in nature, with actually what looks like a very well-manicured and fairly pretty front yard. In the front of the hospital doors specifically, you see that there is a big sort of dirt driveway that turns into a large roundabout that goes around a rose garden in the middle of the roundabout. And just beyond that are the doors to Butler Hospital. The front doors are ominous. They are clearly built to last. They are massive oak doors with, reinforced hinges, and you can tell that those have been installed later on. What would you like to do?
If only we'd had doors like this in that jail. We could have trapped Vic forever.
Oh my gosh. Bring that up again.
Dr. Van Helsing, I think you should pose as a doctor, and we will sneak around the back and look around.
Okay, I pretend to be a doctor, and you sneak around the back.
Yes.
Deal.
I hope he can pull it off.
Are we going to find a door in the back? Is it likely that door will be open in the back?
There's not a door in my back. Whoever told you that was lying.
There's clearly a door in her back. Okay, so Van Helsing, you go in the front doors. They open just fine. Clearly, we're very well oiled. You go in and you see a reception desk that is sort of recessed, and there is, a plastic, well, it's actually a glass barrier between the receptionist and you, but there is a slit there so that she can hear you. How would you like to proceed?
Yes, reception? This is completely unacceptable. I have been waiting for my student for quite some time now. Where are they?
So sorry. So who are you exactly?
I am Professor Dr. Abraham Van Helsing, D.Lit, etc.
Okay. Professor Doctor Sir, who exactly are you looking for?
My new attending intern.
Yeah, and what would his name be?
How should I know? You're the one with the list.
Okay. And she, starts ruffling through paperwork. She's clearly freaking out. She does not have this list at all, and she's very concerned.
It's fine. I will go find him myself, and I just walk right by.
What? Sir, Doctor, Professor, and you're gone. Okay, so from the entrance to Butler, across from the reception area so that their windows would face the front yard, there are 6 officers. One of them says Dr. Bell, Chief Physician. The others have various doctors' names on them, and there are hallways going in each direction from the main doors to the east and west wings.
I go to the west.
Okay. You see a sign above the west hallway that just says male wing, and so you head down there. Excuse me, sir. Hello? What are you doing here? A rather large man in a sort of completely white outfit steps up behind you. He's come in from seemingly a patient's room and puts his hand on your shoulder. There's also a tall, thin man in a white lab coat who's accompanying him.
Yes, I am the new doctor here, Professor Van Helsing, doctor, lawyer. I'm sure you've heard of me. In any case, I am searching for my new attending individual. He seems to have gotten lost.
Can you suggest to me, Dr. Van Helsing, a skill that you would like to use here to help you convince these gentlemen? You are welcome to use any of your spoken skills, I guess, so charm or persuade or fast talk or whatever. Probably don't use fast talk. That's 5% for you. Okay, go ahead and roll that dice for me.
35.
Okay, all right. That is a success. The tall, thin man puts his hand on the broad man's shoulder and sort of, gestures for him to stand down. And he says, "We have been expecting someone. I had heard that the European Consultants League was in town. I hadn't realized you'd be paying us a visit. Are you a physician from that organization?"
Yes, I am a professor from that organization. Also,
Please don't say time lawyer.
Investigator with
Oh, God.
Scotland Yard.
Okay, you've succeeded already, so this is fine. He puts his hand out to you and says, okay, well, welcome to our establishment. My name is Dr. Bell. I'm the chief physician here. It is wonderful to have you in our halls. How may I help you today?
As I mentioned, I am simply searching for my new student who will be attending me. Please, I do not require any assistance. If I can simply search on my own, that would be plenty.
Well, I mean, we have some very interesting cases here, and some of these patients are not quite ready for social interaction with the unknown, so I cannot actually allow you to wander the halls alone. Let me see. Attending physicians. I would be happy to attend you myself if you would like.
All right, then, with your help,
What exactly were you looking to know?
with your help, we will make the rounds.
Okay. And you begin making the rounds. He shows you to various patients. You can tell that he's seeking your approval. He clearly is under the impression that you are going to bring some benefit to his establishment. So he's showing you his most interesting cases. This is a man with what at first presented to be multiple personalities until we debunked that whole charade. Now we believe that he is schizophrenic, and so, you know, he's somewhat violent. Aren't you, Jeff? And he sort of taps on the window, and Jeff waves, looking super happy to see you. Very, very pleasant man in the window. And he keeps walking, and he shows you various other patients. And you notice that he's taking you through the sort of like deeper into the wing. Why don't you go ahead and make an investigation check? Why don't you use your occult sense for this? Let's do an occult check.
81.
Okay, you are 6 off. You have 2 options. You can either push the roll. So what that means is you can try again, and if you fail, you're kind of inviting me to screw with you a little bit, which is totally fine. There's not much you can be screwed with on an occult check, but there it is. Or you can spend some luck. If you spend 6 points of luck, then you will succeed.
How much luck do I have?
You have 75 points of luck. So way more than you're going to need today.
Yeah, I'll spend the luck.
Okay. All right. So you succeed. You know, through many years of working with the occult, you have almost developed a sixth sense for this kind of thing. And you notice out of the corner of your eye a room that is not illuminated, which by itself is odd. Even the empty rooms that you've seen have still been lit. And then as you sort of shift your focus to this room, you notice just through the very small metal grated window in the door, some red in there. And you're like, this is kind of weird. And that's all so far.
I start moving towards that and I say,
excuse me, Dr. Professor Van Helsing, that room is off limits, sir.
Well, I was hoping we could go somewhere private. There's this procedure that will be very popular in 10 or 20, maybe 30 years. It's called lobotomy.
Oh my gosh.
Interesting. Oh, I mean, I could take you back to my office. We could meet there. He's clearly nervous about you entering this room. Do you want to push it?
I will. I have so many different skills that I could roll on. I mean, I kind of just like want to use like jump.
So I'm gonna have you roll your persuade.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have you roll it with a bonus die because you have clearly already impressed this man and convinced him before. So you get to roll 2 percentile dice and take the lower, and then the tens dice.
So I roll, the percent. Okay, gotcha. 16.
You succeed so well. Give me the line that finally convinces him. I would suggest making it like a dire stakes. He would not take you into this room for like anything other than like, things are bad, we need to talk kind of situation.
Well, Doctor, I was hoping that we could go and see the whole hospital with a sense of casuality. However, I must inform you that I do insist, as a member of Scotland Yard, to see this whole establishment, and you will accompany me.
Okay. He pulls out a massive set of keys on a huge key ring. It looks nuts. Like it would have to be that there's a different key for every door in this establishment, but there it is.
That's quite the dongle, friend.
Thank you. Yes, indeed. Give me one moment, and he,
give me one moment to compose myself.
He rifles through the keys. He eventually finds one with a bit of like black tape around the top of the key. He inserts the key into the lock, opens the lock, and he opens the door and steps inside. Do you follow him?
I look around for my compatriots, but if I don't see them, I'm just going to follow him right in.
Yep.
Okay, your compatriots are looking for clues and trying to get in the back door. So you follow him in and he flicks the light on. Immediately, your eyes land on the opposite wall. It is covered in symbols, some of which you know and some that are completely foreign to you. There is a massive red circle in the middle of the wall, which is a little bit taller than you are. In the middle of it, there is what you quickly identify as a pentagram. There are various signs and symbols throughout this circle, upside down question marks and eyes etched in. It is reddish brown in color, and there are multiple words all around, some scratched and chiseled into the wall and some written in the same seemingly red-brown ink. Van Helsing, before you respond, I need you to actually make a sanity roll, please.
Ooh, are you going to become insane, Van Helsing? Yeah, we're all
Unlikely at this point, but we'll see.
That's a 50. 50.
Okay, so your sanity skill
is a 22.
75. Okay, that's a success. So I'm going to say that it is a success, but it is not a hard success. So I'm going to give you just a slight consequence. We're going to do 1d6 of sanity damage.
Ooh, that's a 6.
Okay, so that is 6. So your new sanity total is 69.
Nice! You know what? I also have 69 luck left.
Ah, excellent.
The nicest character.
So as you look at this wall and you comprehend what you're seeing, you instantly start to feel a bit of a headache, and you quickly realize that something is very wrong. Can you make an occult roll for me, please?
46.
Okay. So in your studies of H.P. Lovecraft, a lot of these symbols show up in his stories, and you identify this as a door. This is an attempted doorway. You can see various places where mistakes were made, what seems to be either in haste or just through poor understanding of the occult concepts. This door has not been activated, but you can tell that that's what it's for.
Okay.
You don't know to where, though.
After taking all this in and kind of stepping back a little bit out of psychic damage, I whisper, "Mein Gott," under my breath, and then, "Doctor, it is very good that you took me here. This is exactly what I was searching for. Please tell me the name of the patient who created this door."
You're gonna tell him what it is?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Door? I don't understand. I mean, this man was insane, but doorway, you say? And he looks agitated.
I believe that I know who the patient was, regardless of your silence. Was it Winfield Lovecraft?
He looks shocked.
My eyes flash.
Yes, this was Winfield's room. Mr. Lovecraft unfortunately passed many years ago, but this was his room. We haven't used it since. I mean, we can't even get this off the walls.
Have you tried baking soda and vinegar? Together they make a potent cleaning solution.
They've tried everything. We just cordoned off the room. We couldn't use it. I mean, it would drive any normal patient to further delusions. Winfield was a very disturbed man at the end.
Based on my Lovecraftian knowledge, which I do have by canon, do I know if instead of trying to remove it by normal methods, if there's some way I can alter it to deactivate it or something like that? So
it's never been activated. That it failed. For some reason, it's marked itself into the wall. You know that madness obviously radiates from this sigil, and that if you could mar the circle in some way, you would be able to reduce severely the amount of mental effect that this has. And as you're looking in this room, you hear banging coming from rooms next door. You can tell that this is having an effect on patients nearby. But you would have to scratch into the wall.
At the risk of not knowing exactly what I'm doing, I take I don't know, I don't want to be too dramatic. I was going to cut myself and then put some blood on the circle to make it not a circle anymore, but I'm just too afraid that I would do something.
It's a Halloween episode. Just go whole hog.
Let's don't be silly.
Yeah, but what if you just connect yourself to it in a weird way?
Yeah, it seems bad.
Do it.
Keith's let me kill your character.
You have a few options. You could get out a pocket knife and try and scratch into the concrete, or you could try and mark it with your own blood. Both of those things are definite options you have.
You can also use that same pocket knife to, cut your finger, prick your finger, or...
Yeah, you could prick your finger instead of doing a whole slice. It'd be a little bit less blood.
Yeah, but I don't think... I need enough blood to disrupt the circle. I don't know how thick is
Or
it?
activate it.
Just cut a piece out of the wall.
It is 2 fingers thick.
You're not really marring the circle if you do that because you're not disturbing the connection of the circle as a whole. You should get rid of part of the circle instead.
I take from my bag some holy water, and I
approve. This is good thinking.
take some holy water and I put it on a cloth, and then I take the cloth and I try and rub the circle with the holy water to try and get rid of it.
Okay. I am going to say that as you do this, you can hear almost like a faint sizzling, as if you were like applying like soda to the wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like it's carbonating, and it does actually smear, and you do break the connection. And for just a second, right, you feel the mental effect of this sigil evaporate. And then the blood that you have now disrupted bleeds through the cloth that you're using and comes into contact with your skin. Can you do a sanity check for me, please?
58.
Okay. So that's not going to cut it this time. But you are going to have some interesting effects here. I think you're actually going to be glad that it didn't. Roll 1d8, please.
Who isn't glad to be crazy?
I mean, he's not at 69 anymore, so that's nice.
No, it's
No,
not.
like
that's
he liked
the
that.
opposite of nice.
My bad.
That's a straight 8. Rolling so good on these damage rolls.
Okay, can you add 8 plus 6 to your Cthulhu Mythos score? So you are now at 14.
Cthulhu Mythos.
Remind me why the Cthulhu mythos is good.
So you know how he has some like Lovecraftian knowledge?
Yeah.
This is like having Lovecraft's knowledge
Yes, more of
of
it.
the supernatural. Yeah. Okay. You are immediately struck by a flash of many pictures almost instantaneously, and yet somehow you're able to comprehend what you're seeing. You see a man on the brink. You see a man who is pacing this very room that you're in. You see him throw his head against the wall over and over and over and over again and dab his 2 fingers into the abrasion and start to work through all of this to create the sigil. So you are seeing its creation right now. You see flashes of great eyes. You see a landscape unlike anything that you have seen in the current world. In fact, the only thing that is even slightly similar to this was when you were transported into the other dimension. And in the instance between being in the real world and being wherever it was that you ended up, you saw a place similar to this. It is a toxic environment of orange hues and trees that look half dead. And originally, when you saw
Trump?
this way back in Muckler, you assumed it was just a weird flickering of the forest around you. But you see it again now, and you see towering over you where the horizon should be, a giant eye rising as if it were the sun. You see
Sauron?
alien. You see things that can only be described as alien to you, and you have seen some crazy shit in your time. And it's clear that you were seeing into the mind of Winifred Lovecraft as he was frantically etching these runes. You see him finish the runes. You see him touch a symbol and the door lighting up and quickly failing. You see his frustration. You see him collapse. And you see doctors and orderlies running into the room. And then suddenly you're back in the same room with Dr. Bell. Except now you are on one knee.
Who are you proposing to?
Yeah, take the ring out.
Dr. Bell?
You see, Doctor, the vinegar and baking soda does work. I'm assuming, is the mark still gone?
Yeah, so you have officially marred the circle, and
Nice.
the dread and the feeling of mental anguish and anxiety has left the room. And you can even just see it on Dr. Bell's face. He looks less terrified, even though he is obviously anxious that you've fallen down.
I try and flash him my most charming smile.
He reaches down and offers you a hand and helps you up, and he says, Are you okay? Dr. Professor, sir, are you all right? What can I do? What can I get you? Steve! Steve! And the large orderly runs into the room and also tries to help you up.
Oh, yeah. I am feeling better than ever. Thank you so much for your concern.
Yeah, we need to really invest in some of those cleaning supplies. Steve, add vinegar and, what was it, baking soda to the list of janitorial supplies. Okay, let's switch out to the other guys. So we're going to switch out to Chaos and Ralph, who are sneaking around the East Wing and have just turned the corner to the back of Butler Hospital.
Normal.
So what I'm thinking is we just sneak around, we look in the windows, and we see if we can see Shar. And hey, look, I've got my power glove, and I'm going to use that to track her.
Okay.
How low are these windows?
So you have some that are at just above eye level. They're very small. They're obviously they're barred. They're small windows that are obviously looking directly into patient rooms. And so they are kind of fogged. So you can't see super well into the patient rooms. But at your feet, every sort of 10, 12 feet or so, there are also windows into what you can assume is a cellar. It's pitch black, but you can sort of see down into the window well and see that there are windows and rooms down there.
Oh, gee, these are a lot of people that try to run away. I know that Mrs. Nelson had a room with bars on it, and if you ran away, you had to go in there for a while.
Mrs. Nelson's messed up.
I have no questions about this.
Okay, let's see what we can use for you, Chaos. What kind of skill would you like to use to try and find Shah?
Mechanical repair.
No.
It was the closest I could find to tech in this world.
Okay, all right. Well, let's make an adjustment. Let's call it tech. You are using your tech skill, which is currently set to a 50. Go ahead. It is going to require a hard success.
Okay.
Well, it's going to require a varying level of success depending on how accurate you want to be.
Cool. 81.
Man, you're rolling really good. That's a high
That
number.
is not going to do it. Would you like to push the roll? Because, I mean, you'd have to spend 31 luck to even get in the vicinity at this point.
Wait, in this game we want low numbers, Dan.
Yes.
Oh, shoot. That's where my problem was.
I thought he was being sarcastic.
No, he
What?
wasn't.
You want
was.
high damage but low skill.
Remind me what the outcome of pushing is again.
So it just sort of opens you up to me having a little bit more narrative license with your consequences.
Yeah, why the heck not? Let's do it.
All right. So go ahead and try again.
Ha-ha!
And I'll let you roll with bonus dice this time.
78.
Okay, so 78 is what would stand.
Yeah.
You look, it's not a success, but you can definitely tell that she is in Butler Hospital. You have basically it's coming up with she is approximately 200 feet from your location, and it's telling you in the general towards the middle of the hospital direction.
All right, so we just have to go to the center of the hospital. Should we break down a wall or go through a window?
I don't think that Sir Tiffany can break down a wall. I thought we were fighting a door.
No, they'll expect that. You know what? I'll just hack one of these windows and we can go in there.
You're gonna hack a window?
You can do that? I had no idea you can do that.
You're gonna hack a 1920s window, which is a file cabinet in France?
Yeah, that's his
I
ability.
mean, hack the planet is the thing that I do. I don't know what questions
Yes.
you have for me.
All right, we're going to do this as an education roll, comboed with your tech roll. So this is you using all of your ability, right? But
Watch, this is when he rolls a 10.
there are various levels of success for this. So would you like to hack a center window, and what level? The top level, the ground level, or the basement level?
Basement level for sure.
Okay, go ahead.
90.
Oh, damn, you almost failed. Okay, you jam out on your power gauntlet, and you're doing your hack the planet thing. Please say the line.
All right, it's time to jack in.
Excellent. Little matrix numbers flow down your power gauntlet, and you connect to the interface of the Matrix, I guess, and after furiously typing, a pitch black room with a window just below your feet. The window is about the right size for two very young adults to get through. And, you hit enter, you're ready for it to work, and it's like, yeah! And one bar falls out of the window and plonks to the ground of the window well. Ralph could definitely squeeze his way through, and Chaos, with enough grease, you could probably get through there.
Grease has never been a problem for Chaos.
I know. What would you like to do?
There you go. You thought I couldn't do it. Look, I hacked a window.
It didn't really look like you hacked the window.
It's open.
It looked like maybe the bar just fell out because it was old.
That's what I was going
All
for.
right.
Okay, I guess we're going in here.
Okay, so
You go that way. I will keep looking for an entrance.
You're seriously gonna leave a 10-year-old and a
You're gonna go
mental
4
hospital from
parties?
1920s?
I'm just kidding. We'll keep
veto.
Wow, what's it like when someone decides to go do their own thing when there's a totally useful thing going on in the same place they are, and they're like, oh no, I want to be a wolf and go sit in the woods, yeah.
So you guys are working your way in the window.
Dr. Van Helsing, we're in.
The cellar.
The cellar.
We went to the basement.
Hacker voice, we're in.
Oh, I'm sorry. Chaos taught me this. Gee whiz, we're in.
Perfect, no notes.
Don't tell me you went to the cellar door.
That's where a bar fell out, and he told me that he hacked it. I don't believe him, but we're in.
All right. Okay, Effie.
Si, senor.
At this point, just as you hear, gee whiz, we're in, you land off to the west of Butler Hospital and sort of start making your way towards the hospital. Can you please roll a spot hidden for me?
39.
Okay, you succeed. You, unlike everybody else, you are a trained assassin. And that skill comes in really handy right now because you notice a patrol of men in really just all black. They're wearing hoods. You see 3 men walk by you. 2 of them are armed with handguns, and one of them is carrying a shotgun.
There's some men out here, and I think they're armed too heavily for hospital guards.
How heavy could their arms be?
And they are definitely sus.
They look like some monks. They're very well-armed monks.
Monks, you say?
They have hoods and they're chanting.
I can't say that I've ever met a monk.
Dr. Bell is very confused by what you're doing right now.
Oh. I bet he is.
Okay, Effie, can you please roll stealth to try and make your way towards the hospital?
46. I didn't win.
Okay. As you are making your way towards the hospital, you hear an outcry, you hear a shout, and then you hear the unmistakable sound of guns being cocked. Okay, I got a 34 on a successful surprise attack, so I'm now going to basically shoot at you because you were surprised by them.
If it's a surprise, don't tell me.
Sure. That is a 7 hit point loss for you.
But
so you turn around, but unfortunately not quick enough. So a shot rings out. And as you're turning around, thankfully, you manage to almost dodge this bullet. And it wings you, doing 3 points of damage instead of what may have been a death blow.
9. Think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. Got me running through the open door.
Stop reading the lyrics and
I'm not.
initiate.
Where am I reading the lyrics? Where?
Okay. So your dexterity being 80, you are much more dexterous than they are. So you're going to go before they do. So you have a chance right now. There are a few things that you can do in the combat phases of Call of Cthulhu. Your options are that you can dodge, which you just did, so I wouldn't dodge again because that would be weird. You can fight back, or you can maneuver, or you can run. So those are kind of your options. You can run, maneuver, which is like if you wanted to grapple one of them, which probably not helpful at this point, or you can fight back, so you can like fire at them.
How many of them are there?
There are 3 of them.
Can't believe you thought I was reading the lyrics. Don't you know that I
You're
have that
impressive.
song
You're impressive.
just in my brain?
Sure.
I will run into the hospital.
Can you please roll your dexterity roll?
Reminds me of my good old D&D days. Dex. That means that I can get 80? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. I got 22.
Wow. Okay, you take off like a bat out of hell.
Woo!
You bolt. And they are honestly just not ready for that. They were fully expecting you to fight back or to run towards the forest, which makes sense. But instead, you essentially run directly at them, sort of flipping over them as you go, using your rocket boost to get a bit of extra thrust. And as you do that, you notice in the background, one of them's like, "Oh, dang it!" And he's,
Really?
you hear padding. You may have singed his robe a little bit with that rocket boot, and you land basically right outside the doors to Butler Hospital. What would you like to do?
Go into the hospital.
Okay. You try and get into the hospital, but the door is locked at this point. What would you like to do? The doors are locked.
Break a window.
Okay, the windows are barred, so you smash
Even
the
the ones on the
glass.
front door?
The ones in the front, there are no windows in the front door. If you'd like to break an office window, those don't have bars.
I would like to break an office window.
Okay. You break an office window and climb in. There is a very startled man in a white coat who quickly jumps up and runs out of his office door. What would you like to do next?
Follow him into the hospital proper.
Okay. As you do, you notice that Shah's phone is making repetitive beeping sounds that are getting closer together as you get into the hospital, specifically towards the center of the hospital. 2 orderlies try and bar your way. A little arrow pops up on Shah's phone, which you've had mirror to your internal display. And so an arrow pops up in your mind that points behind the orderlies, that points in the opposite direction of the orderlies towards a staircase marked cellar.
I go downward.
Okay, can you roll a stealth, please?
I rolled a 9.
Wow. Somehow, the orderlies that you like almost ran into have assumed that you belong. Like, they don't even notice that you're like out of the ordinary. The doctor's kind of like mumbling to himself and moving away from you, but you manage to get down the stairs without them chasing you at all. And the door shuts in time that the guards that you saw outside who have not entered have no idea where you've gone. You don't hear anything that indicates to you that there's a fuss or ruckus going on upstairs, so they've not come in.
Probably I just stopped running and started walking and then looked like...
You did it like super chill.
Yeah.
Okay, you're in the cellar. As you descend the stairs into the cellar, you start to hear, some like chattering and some noise coming from the opposite direction of where the arrow is pointing you. And as you're trying to decide which way to go, from your right, you hear, "Gee whiz!" What would you like to do?
Ralph? That's what I did.
Ralph, you hear her.
Wowie! It's Effie! Effie!
Ralph, we need to go this way to find Charlotte.
Chaos! Sounds like Effie's around the corner!
Yeah, we should continue going that way. That's the plan the whole time. It's gonna be fine.
Oh yeah, because we're going to the center. That's what your thing said.
Yeah,
okay,
the
center's this way. Effie, the center's this way. We're going your way.
So you guys come out of the room that you entered the building on. You look a little bit scuffed up. You did crawl through a window with bars on it. So you're a little bit scuffed up, and the room was kind of not empty. So you had to like navigate around what appears to be old, defunct equipment.
Oh.
No. Chaos stubs his toe on his way through past an old machine.
Serves him right.
Hey, is your tetanus shot up to date?
My what?
Don't worry about it. I'm sure it's fine.
Okay. As you guys get together, you hear, "Hey, oi, they're over here." And the sound of pounding feet as someone runs down the hallway towards you.
Gee, we gotta be quiet. Shh, we use our hacker voice. We gotta be quiet.
Effie, you also hear the sound of thumping footprints, but coming from the opposite direction. The direction that you wanted to go.
I think what we just have to do is murder them.
What?
Agreed.
You cannot.
Let's go.
You can't do that. Gee.
Okay.
Close your eyes, Ralph.
2 men appear from behind where Chaos and Ralph have just shown up. They are unarmed, but the 2 men coming from your direction, Effie, appear to be holding batons, kind of similar to what a police officer would use, and they are approaching you menacingly. One of them says, "Oi, Mac, don't let him out. Don't let him escape." And they move to surround you.
I want to talk to the unarmed people.
They're all robed, but go ahead.
Oh, they're not like orderlies?
No, they are definitely not orderlies.
Okay.
Look, we're not trying to escape. We just want to go farther into the hospital. You're welcome to follow us. If you don't want to die, move out of my way.
Okay, let's enter combat.
Oh.
So, at the moment, the highest dexterity...
I guess they wanted to die.
The highest dexterity is Effie. Ralph, you have some time, and as a reaction, I will let you roll power in order to try and change into Tiffany if you want.
Okay. Cool. I'll yell out, "I have a bat and I know how to use it!" So I'll take out my bat, whip it around, and be all, "By the might of Sir Tiffany's sword!" Ow, I hit the lamp next to me? That hurt.
That's staying in. That's exactly what happened. A rather subdued thunderclap can be heard throughout the hospital, and you become Sir Tiffany. And now each of these guys needs to make a sanity roll because that was weird as f***.
They haven't seen anything weird than that, man. They worship Cthulhu.
Okay, so there's 4 of them. 1, okay, he failed. 2. So 2 of these guys failed. And they take 5 and 3 sanity respectively. And what happens is one of them failed by 5. So he's now going to do an intelligence check to see if he comprehended exactly what happened. And he did, because he got an 80. And so he's actually going to go into a bout of madness, which thankfully the first time this happens is against your enemies. That's really convenient. Yes. But the way that this is going to represent, according to my roll, he has actually developed a mania. And I now need to roll a D100 to find out what that mania is. A 96.
Can we have a name for this character so we can talk about him later?
Uncontrollable attraction to notes.
So... this is Mac, and Mac has developed Tomomania, and it's not a mania for those named Tom. It's in fact a irrational predilection for performing surgery.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, and so Mac visibly staggers and looks around and sees that there are surgical equipment tools in the rooms adjacent to where he is. And he runs into one of these rooms, and without any word to any of his fellow monk guys, you hear some clattering, some banging, and then an ungodly scream from the room that Mac just entered. And Mac's not going to come back.
Can I add something?
Sure.
There's a tiny person inside all of us, or a big person. I'm going to show them to you.
What the
After the scream, you hear...
Yeah, I'm grossed out.
You hear, "Get the tiny man, get the tiny man, get the tiny man," coming from the room that you heard, and then another scream, followed by the sound of tearing.
Okay, alright.
So the guy that was next to Mac is freaking out. He can see into the room that Mac's just gone into.
So he has to make another sanity roll.
Yeah. So he's going to make another sanity roll.
I don't need my laser sword anymore. This is now my new power.
He has failed his sanity roll, but thankfully only got a 3 to his sanity. So he's lost in total 6 sanity. So we're now in combat phase. The first person to move in combat is Effie because of her high dex.
Effie.
So Effie, your choices are to fight or maneuver.
How many of them are still sane?
They're all still sane. They just have lost some sanity points, except for Mac. Mac is probably
I don't want to
dead.
know about him. I would like to try and fight through whichever ones are keeping me from getting to Shar.
Okay, so that is in the direction that Mac was, so where there is one other guard. So you run into the direction of the last guard on that side, and what ability would you like to use to fight? So you have fight handgun, or you have firearms, rifle shotgun, which is your much bigger skill, and then you have fighting brawl, which you can use to punch them.
I will shoot him. Okay, I rolled a 5.
What?
I did.
That is so close to a critical success that I'm going to say that you do a full body shot. Can you please roll 4 d6s and 1 d4?
Ooh, we're doing body shots now.
It is a Halloween episode.
Somebody pour a fuzzy navel on my fuzzy navel.
Okay, I got 8 plus 3 is 12 plus 6 is
He's dead.
18 plus 2.
Okay.
20.
His HP was 12. He's dead. Okay, so you hit this guy square in the chest and he flies backwards like several feet. Oof. Back from you and lands on the ground. And as he does, you hear a groaning sound coming from your right. And you turn to look, and I need you to make a sanity roll, please.
27.
Okay, so you succeed, but not a hard success. This is a mixed success, so you don't lose any sanity points, but you are taken aback. So it is going to cost you a moment of hesitation. And from inside the room, you see Mac, and Mac is standing and heading towards you. And he has a giant gash down the length of his sternum. And there is a scalpel half sticking out of this giant gash. And from the way he's moving and the way he sounds and the fact that he's not screaming in pain, you pretty much are convinced that he is definitely dead. And unfortunately, you hesitated. So he is going to attack you.
Zombie! Zombie!
Yeah, 100% it's a zombie. Okay, he got a 31, so you have a chance to defend.
What do I defend with?
You can choose either to fight back, which will be at a disadvantage because you hesitated, or you can try and dodge. So if you try and dodge, you'll use dexterity and you'll go up against his very low score of the 31 to try and dodge out of the way. If you try and fight back,
he's a zombie, so I'm going to dodge him.
Good call.
Zombie.
Okay.
6.
You dodge. Wow. You dodge super fast. In fact, you dodge to the point where you actually dodge in the direction you wanted to go even. And he doesn't move very fast. He's a zombie. So you manage to sort of roll out of the way towards Shah. So now you have a choice to make when it comes to your turn again, where you can try and run and head for Shah or deal combat. But now it is Chaos's turn. Chaos and Ralph, can you make a sanity roll as Mac comes shambling out of that room?
70.
42.
Okay. So Tiffany, you're fine, but Chaos, can you please roll 1d8?
3.
Okay. So your sanity is now at 57. Can you add 3 to your Cthulhu Mythos skill, please?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what would you like to do, Chaos?
So I am going to use my power glove to project an image of a xenomorph from Alien towards the men behind me.
Okay. Go ahead. Let's roll your tech roll again.
Cool. 40.
Okay, that succeeds. It flickers a little bit. It's a bit hazy, but one of the men screams, "It's an old one!" And he drops to his knees and tries to supplicate at the feet of this old one that he has perceived. They don't need to roll sanity because they are seeing it as something that they understand.
Gosh, I mean, it's kind of an old movie, but it's not that old.
The other one sort of hesitates, freezes, right? But doesn't run away. They both hesitate, so they both lose their turns. So it is now Sir Tiffany's turn.
Yes! Swinging the sword, swinging the sword, swinging the sword. 50.
Okay. And who are you swinging the sword at?
I'm going to swing it at Mac. He seems like the most threatening right now.
Okay, go ahead and roll 1d8.
Okay.
And then add 1d4 to that.
Okay, so that is a 9.
Okay, so Mac takes more than half of his life in damage. So he is knocked prone, and he'll need to make a constitution roll to see if he can get up on his next turn. And he most definitely will not be standing up soon, but he is still alive.
Help, Mac's fallen and he can't get up.
Okay. Now it is Mac's turn, and because he failed that constitution, back to the top of the order, it's Effie's turn, and you have a clear line of sight towards where Shah supposedly is.
Ralph, you're a grown-up right now, so I'm leaving you. I'm gonna go get Shah. Bye.
Of course! I am a grown-up!
Wow.
I will
Effie
take
books
care
it.
of this.
Okay, so Effie, you run and you've disengaged from combat. Chaos, it's your turn.
All right. We are going to head back over the zombie towards the Shar.
Okay.
Oh,
He's
you
fallen
seriously
down, right?
are doing
And he can't get
the...
up.
Because he failed his constitution throw, he had to spend his turn standing, so he couldn't attack
Right.
you. But now it's Chaos's turn, so he is standing, so he could try and attack you if you try and run.
Okay. What would that be? Against my dex?
Yeah, he's going to roll his fight, which is a brawl roll against your dex.
Okay.
So you have to succeed by a whole, by an integral better, right? So if he gets a good success, you need a hard success to succeed.
All right. 63.
He succeeded with a 12, so he succeeded by a couple of magnitudes better than you. So he is going to get an attack here. At this point, he is just going to swing at you with a brawl. So that is...
If you get scratched, you become a zombie, so...
So he is going to do 4 hit points to you, which is just short of a major wound. So you're now at 5 hit points. But you managed to get past him.
There's but a flesh wound.
Because he didn't do a major wound to you, he doesn't scratch you, he just hits you.
Are we just leaving Ralph to take care of the 3 living people?
I mean, you
Or
could escape as
unliving?
well.
Yeah, it looks that way. I mean, the 2 are still hesitating because they saw an old one, but once he's out of the range, it's not going to be there anymore. Okay, so you get past him, you've taken 4 damage, but you are now past him and with Effie heading in the direction of what you can assume is Shar. And your tech is now indicating a much more accurate field that she's about 30 or 40 feet in the direction you're going.
Nice.
Okay, so it is now human 3 and 4's turn. So human 3 is going to get up because the hologram evaporates, and he is going to attack Sir Tiffany.
Cool. I have armor.
So he fails his brawl. So now we're going to go to the other one. And he gets a 36. So he succeeds, but it is the weakest success. So you have the choice of fighting back, dodging, or a maneuver where you try and grapple him, whatever you want to do.
What would fighting back do?
You'd both attack each other. If you succeeded, you would attack him and he would not do any damage to you. If he succeeded, it would be the opposite way. He would attack you and you would not do any damage to him. If you had a tie goes to the attacker.
Okay.
So he would attack you.
Okay, let's fight off.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your sword.
Okay. A 7?
Wow, that is an extreme success. And compared to his
cool.
casual success, you obviously succeed there. So go ahead and roll your damage dice.
Okay. That is an 11.
An 11 for human is all but 1 hit point. So he is down
gosh.
on the ground and bleeding. He has 1 hit point left. It's now your turn. So you have a couple choices. You could attack the now on the ground human. I will warn you, there is obviously a chance that he will come back when he's dead. You can attack human number 3, who tried to attack you last turn, or you can try and attack Zombie Mac.
I'm doing Zombie Mac.
Okay, go ahead and roll your sword attack.
Zombie Mac sounds like it should be a song.
I'm cool with it. Figure it out and you can sing it along.
So 22.
That's a hard success for you. And now I'm going to roll his attack. He got a 63, so he failed. So he swings at you and completely misses. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, a 9.
A 9 on Zombie Mac. That'll do it. You hear a sickening sound as your sword cleaves through the top of his skull, definitely severing the brain. And he drops completely lifeless to the ground. All right, it is now human number 3's turn.
Okay.
Human number 3 is definitely terrified. They're not super thrilled that they have a chance to turn into a zombie, but he is going to attack you. So let me do that.
Okay.
He got a 93. He completely whiffs it. He almost fumbles. He's so close. But he
93? Wow.
Yeah, completely misses you with his unarmed brawl attack. Would you like to fight back or run?
Yeah, I'm going to fight back.
Okay.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll your fight, sword, and shield attack.
Okay, so that was a 42.
Cool, you succeed. Roll damage.
8.
Okay, so 8 for human number trace. Okay, well, his total was 13 and you took 8 down, so he's down to, 5? So that is a major wound, so he's knocked to the ground and he does not show a sign of wanting to get up, but I'm going to quickly roll.
This one had 1 more HP than the other.
Power. He's unconscious. He failed his Constitution saving throw and he is unconscious. So is the guy with 1 hit point. So you've knocked them both out, which is a great result because they are not zombies.
Yay! I will try and find Effie and Chaos. How far away are they?
Not very. They rounded a corner and stopped. But we're actually going to pop over to Van Helsing real quick. Van Helsing, you've been hearing all this. You heard Max a zombie and like all sorts of random stuff coming from downstairs. You're still with Dr. Bell. What would you like to do?
Is there anything I can do to get away from the plot?
Never.
Yeah, you could keep going on your tour with Dr. Bell.
Avoiding the plot regardless of game system.
He's true to character, if anything.
I appreciate that, honestly. It's very honest.
Consistent.
No, I want to hurry downstairs, I think. So,
who are you and what have you done with Dr. Van Helsing?
Quick, what is the fastest way to the cellar?
Right through here. And he like takes you outside down to the end of the hallway and points to a door that is clearly a stairwell. Why do you need to be in the cellar?
Stay here. I have important detective work to take care of. And I kick the door in and draw my revolvers.
It actually opens out, so when you kick it, you just kind of like hurt your leg. No, you kick it. Can you roll a strength roll for me, please?
56.
Okay, would you like to use luck to luckily knock the door down or push that one?
Can I just try? Can I just try opening it the normal way?
Okay, so you fail. You reach down. You turn the handle and the door comes away just fine, opens up towards you, and you look with a look of chagrin at Dr. Bell, nod, and run down the stairs. As you get down to the next level, you come out of the door, and when you do, you are almost immediately face to face with Effie and Chaos, and then Ralph, as Sir Tiffany, comes running around the corner. Effie, you see that there is a door to your right, and the arrow is pointing directly down that door, and the phone is like... You are so close to Shar at this point. She's right there. She's got to be in the next room.
I fail one roll in the whole game and Keith kills me.
You're definitely somewhere. Okay, come on. What do you want to do?
I feel like this is a trap.
Okay.
It's a trap.
And maybe it is.
I would like to light the door on fire. Just kidding. I'll just try and open it.
Okay, you open the door.
Without going inside.
And I need everyone to roll a sanity, please. Except for Shah.
25.
45.
Okay, you succeed. Good job.
14.
Wow, you guys are rock solid today. Effie, what did you roll?
69.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, Effie, that is not going to cut it. I need you to roll 1d8 and 1d6, please.
1, 5, 6.
Okay. Because you have rolled higher than a 5 on your sanity loss, so take 6 decrease to your sanity. So your new total is 42. I need you to roll an intelligence roll, please.
66.
Oh, thank goodness. You failed your intelligence roll, and because of that, you are able to be blissfully unaware of just how insane what you're seeing is. And so you don't suffer a bout of madness. But what all of you see is the most horrific and terrifying sight any of you have ever seen. And that includes you, Dr. Van Helsing.
dead?
In front of you, you see sort of suspended 3/4 of the way up the wall on a giant web, a spider the size of a small sedan. It is long and thin and gangly. It looks very similar to a black widow with one very unique distinction. Instead of the standard 8 eyes and mandibles of a spider, you see the demonic face of a haunted woman. This, Van Helsing, you realize is a Lovecraftian favorite, the Altashnasha, the demon queen of spiders. And she essentially hisses at you, rises up on her rear forelegs with her other 4 splayed in front of you, and screams directly in your face. Effie, as the first in the door and the one with the highest dex, you have the second to realize that Shah has to be on the other side of the door, on the opposite side of the room, the door that the Atashnasha is guarding. You have one chance to do something that could possibly save your team, what would you like to do?
I would like to use my special gun.
Good call. Go ahead and roll firearms with advantage.
15.
You got an extreme success. So you need to roll 8d6 plus a d4. With the extreme success, I'm going to have you roll 10d6.
7 plus 3 plus 6 plus 1, 17.
Okay.
Right?
So that's 26.
And then I roll, so that's 10 d6s.
Okay.
Now what do I roll?
The d4.
2.
So that's 28. You have done a major wound to an old one. This is incredible. Your gun arm transforms
Elder
into
abuse.
what can
Elder
only,
abuse.
what can only be described as a Mega Man cannon. And you fire something that I would say the closest description to it would be like a Goku level Kamehameha like energy blast out of your gun, and you hit the Altas Nasha square in the thorax as it's rearing up, and it is alight with blue flames. It screams in terror, falls to the ground and is writhing, and as it does that, a doorway opens up beneath it and it plummets through a shocking green sphere of energy and vanishes from the room.
Sweet.
Good job. You defeated my Altas Nasha puzzle.
Was it a puzzle?
Yay!
It's just a giant
Just
spider
brute
queen.
force.
Yep. Okay, what would you like to do?
I would like to go for Shar.
Okay. You head with haste to the other door, and the guys are all behind you now, running towards you. And you open the door, and I'm going to need you guys to do one more sanity roll, please.
No, not sanity.
Wow.
35.
Okay, you succeed.
32.
23.
53.
Okay. 53. So Tiffany, you all succeed. Good job. You are handling this like troopers. But in the room,
My 10-year-old mind doesn't understand a thing!
in the room, you see probably what is close to your worst fear. The first thing that occupies your sight is a stone altar. And on the stone altar, you see Shar. And she is bound with her arms splayed to the altar. You see flashes of red as you look around the room.
Cross?
Yes, but specifically your wrists are being held down over some channels in the altar. And blood is trickling from your wrists down into the channels. Susie Lovecraft is standing in the middle of the room.
Oh, she's the one that did it.
And she exclaims as you enter, You're in my way again! And behind her, you can see H.P. Lovecraft chained to a chair with his back to the wall. And behind him is another sigil, another doorway waiting to be activated. As you survey the room, Effie, you see the blood that is coming out of Shar's hands. You see it flowing through the channels of the altar, trickling down to the floor, moving towards the doorway, and you see it climbing the wall and contributing to the completion of this sigil towards the top of this doorway. What would you like to do?
Free Shar.
Okay. Go ahead and roll dexterity for me.
I think I'm good at this.
You are.
14.
14. You get to Shar, and without hesitating for a second, you rip these ropes that are binding her to pieces. In one very quick and adept motion, you scoop Shar up into your arms as you retreat back towards the doorway in order to shield her from any attack.
I must have a lot of
You are very
experience
fast.
with
You're very fast.
tight ropes.
Susie Lovecraft begins to chant. She says some words in a language that not even Van Helsing understands.
Uh-oh.
And the blood continues to rise up the wall until it completes the ring. Your options right now are to try and interrupt the spell. You can try and apply first aid to Shar to help her to regain some hit points, or you can try and talk to Susie Lovecraft.
Shar reaches up and pats Effie's cheek and goes, "Kill that bitch."
Okay?
We got permission.
I shoot my guns. I want to shoot my guns.
You shoot your guns. Okay, go ahead and roll firearms for me.
36.
Okay, you succeed. You shoot. Go ahead and roll damage.
It says 1d6 plus DB.
So
DB should be
1d6
your
plus
damage
0.
bonus.
Ah,
Yeah. So just 1d6.
5.
Okay. You hit her in the shoulder, but the jar of your firearm knocks the Necronomicon out of her hands and it skitters to a halt at the feet of H.P. Lovecraft. He is unconscious.
A perfect shot.
This snaps her out of it. Whatever trance she's in, she reacts to your gunshot and she says, You won't stop me. I will succeed. They are telling me. They're here. They're here. And she shouts one last word and the portal begins to open. And it's almost like a slit of light in the center of this doorway that seems to turn sideways and become an open door. And as she does this, H.P. Lovecraft gets to roll a constitution to see if he wakes up. He got a 3. So he wakes the fudge up. He is actually like, he wakes up. He was pretending to be unconscious the whole time. He freaks out.
He was pretending to be unconscious? What is wrong with this guy?
And he just let me bleed? Kill him.
He's freaking out.
I mean, whatever mother
Mother,
says.
what is this? Where are we? What is happening? Get me out of here. He's tied down, right? And as he is freaking out, he notices that the doorway is now occupied. And you all notice this because in the doorway
Occupado.
is a giant eye. You are seeing maybe a sliver of pupil and iris in this 6-foot diameter doorway. And you can only imagine the sheer magnitude of the beast who is staring at you right now. And he freaks out. He throws himself to the side, knocking himself down with the chair. He screams out in pain. And finally, his mother looks down at him as if realizing for the first time that he's even there. And she says, Howie, what are you doing here? Why are you here? And she looks up at the doorway and she says, Old one, your bidding. And the old one, which you assume is the eye in the doorway, recedes. And now, through the doorway, reaches a tentacle. You can't describe it any other way. It is a long, slender appendage, but instead of suction cups like an octopus, you see spikes on the inside of the tendril and eyes in between the spikes. And it is reaching for H.P. Lovecraft. And from Susie's mouth come the words, We are satisfied. And it tries to reach for HP.
I would like to grab the book and throw it in.
All right. You grab the Necronomicon from the feet of H.P. Lovecraft and you hurl it into the portal. And there is a blinding flash of light and the tentacle does recede a bit. And you hear a sound that I cannot describe. Your mind is not capable of comprehending what it just heard. Everyone needs to roll a sanity roll, please.
Dang it, Chaos.
51.
56.
44.
56.
Ooh, what's a 4?
Wow, so sane.
I'm the sanest.
Van Helsing,
Never been said before.
You are shocked, but something about this and the fact that you've traveled to other dimensions before, you're able to maintain your sanity. I need everyone else to please roll your percentile dice.
Which is 4.
Wow, good job.
Thank
You're
you.
okay.
10.
40.
Chaos, take 5 sanity points.
Oh, okay.
And Shah, take 20.
That's some
And then,
sanity.
so Tiffany, I need your score.
Okay, yeah. It's a 35.
Okay? So I'll need you to take half of that rounded up. So an 18, please.
18 for my sanity.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I need every one of you to please roll an intelligence roll.
Okay.
I got a 21.
Oh, current, so 18.
74.
So that's a success.
7. I got a 64.
Chaos succeeded. And then so did Shah. And then so Tiffany, you failed. So you are okay. Your other two will go into a bout of madness. And we are going to roll. We'll get a bout of madness. Okay, so 7. So Shah, you now are suffering the mania of H-momania, which is an obsession with sharp or pointed objects. Right now, you see the knife that was used to cut your wrists, but you are being held by Effie. So you will frantically reach for that knife, but Effie is still holding you. So you won't succeed in getting to it. But you really want to get to this knife. Chaos, you got a 20. So you're at Bruxomania, which is a mania that is a compulsion for grinding your teeth. So you're just grinding your teeth a whole bunch. Cool.
I hope everyone could hear that. Is the portal still open or did it entirely close?
Portal is still open and the tentacle is coming back towards you.
Let's push her in.
Since I did roll so well, I would like to say, I am the strangest thing in this room. And then I fire my revolvers at the tentacle.
It has no effect. This thing is so far beyond your ability. But I will tell you this. Roll your firearms. It did. It seemed totally badass. But roll your firearms roll, please.
36.
Okay, so 36. So that is a fail. So roll your damage roll, please.
4.
Okay. You hit Susie Lovecraft.
Yes!
In your attempt to shoot at the beast in the portal. And she rocks back and is now face to face with the eye and she's stumbling.
Can I run up and kick her in the back?
You can.
Okay, what do I need
She's
to roll for
stumbling
that?
towards the portal right now.
I would like to assist in pushing her through.
Okay, both of you roll a fight brawl, please.
I got a 14.
Okay, so you succeed.
33.
Okay, so you don't succeed, Chaos. That's okay. So Tiffany, so that is actually a hard success. So I'm going to have you double your damage, please.
Okay, it doubled it. That's an 8.
Okay, that'll do it. You basically needed to get a 7.
Okay. This is Arkham!
It's definitely not. It's Butler, but I appreciate the references.
Just kidding.
So she gets a shield charge to the back and she flies forward into the portal. And instinctively, she is wrapped in the tentacle around her waist and yanked inside. There is again the screaming sound. You've already been exposed to it, so you're inoculated to it right now. And then a few moments go by and her body is thrust out through the portal and the portal is beginning to close. The Necronomicon going in there, her being essentially seriously wounded, the spell is broken. And so the portal is closing, but it is closing slowly. In the voice of the beast, the old one again, she says,
"You have stopped us this time, but we will return for the boy. He will not see into our world again. We are not ready to be revealed. We will return, and when we return, it will spell the end of man."
And then the portal closes. And the tentacle drops to the ground, dropping Susie Lovecraft, who is essentially a blithering mess. She's mumbling, she is stuttering, she's kind of foaming at the mouth, weeping. And HP has managed to get himself untied and he runs over to his mother, drops down next to her and is holding her. And as this happens, the doors fly open and some orderlies bust in. I don't know how they're staying sane with a writhing tentacle on the ground, but behind them comes numerous police officers, including Detective McFarland, and they take HP, they take Susie, they escort them away, and Detective McFarland says to you, "I do not know how you have managed to succeed in this. I do not know how you have found this. I do not even want to know what that is." And he's sort of gesturing to the tentacle. "We found 2 unconscious men outside and one who looked like he had ripped his own chest open. I do not know what you have done here. I do not want to know. If this is how Scotland Yard operates, I do not want you in my city. But you have succeeded."
Hello, my friends. I am currently at a thing called an impound lot waiting for you. If you would like to come and get me, that would be cool, as the kids say. Additionally, it looks like everything is going to be fine now. So thank you for your hard work, and come and have some cookies and milk.
Cookies and milk!
Detective McFarland ushers you out of the hospital as quickly as he can.
Hey, hold on, we wanted souvenirs.
But what do you think the monster meant by the end of
Thanks for joining us, fam. Don't forget, Cousin Marshall has his Lovecraftian haunted house set up, and only 3 people have gone missing so far, so we'll see you guys there. Yeah, good job, guys. You have come face to face with Cthulhu and lived to tell the tale, which is not a thing that many can say. Thank you for joining me in this weird and wonderful adventure. The craziest part is, like, Susie Lovecraft, she was committed to Butler Hospital after going insane, just like her husband. And when she eventually died in Butler, all of HP's distress, his mental illness, even his physical ailments seemed to just go away. To his dying day, had no explanation for why he suddenly felt better after his mum died.